Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Video Games, back with another really cool arcade game video for you tonight. This is actually a pinball machine, of course. This is Stern's Meteor. This was Stern, the old school Stern, probably the new school Stern too, but this was Stern's best-selling game of all time, pinball-wise. Stern at the time in the early 80s or late 70s actually, but Stern also made video games for a while, so they did Berserk, and Frenzy was the sequel to Berserk, and Tutankhamun and some stuff like that. But also Super Cobra and Scramble, both awesome games. But they were more known for their pinball machines, so I thought I'd show you this game. We just got it kind of finished up. This we got this years ago, this machine, along with several other games from a gentleman, and this one was in the worst shape, and it was missing all kinds of parts, had some wear on the playfield down to the wood, just had a lot going on. But over the years, we fixed all the other ones, and over the years this one's been sitting around, and we decided recently, you know what, let's get the Meteor out of storage and fix it up. So we did. It just took a lot of work, not really a ton of money, but a lot of work to get it working again. But I figured I'd shoot a little video to show you the game. It's actually a really cool game. I really like it. We've had several Meteors over the years because, like I said, it was Stern's best-selling game. I think they made 14,000 of them, which is a lot for a pinball machine. And in the modern era, Stern is still the biggest manufacturer of pinball games today. It's a different company, but it's ran by Gary Stern, the same gentleman that ran this company. Back whenever they were making Meteor. The modern Stern would love to sell 14,000 copies of a game again. If a game sells 3,000 copies now, it's considered a huge success. So they don't make their numbers public anymore, so we don't know for sure what the modern ones sell, but some of them have only sold 600 or 700 actually. But the more popular ones probably sell 3,000 or 4,000, maybe more. We don't know for sure, but this one sold 14,000. Awesome. So I figured I'd show it to you a little bit. The coin door we painted because it was somebody had already painted it black and it just looked horrible, so we had to paint that. And then there was an issue with the art on the side. That's of course the original art. The art was missing on the back box, so we just painted it red to kind of match the neck there underneath it. That was already red, but the sides on most of the Meteors have a continuation of the comet. You see kind of some of this streaking and stuff up here on the top. Looks pretty cool, but we thought it came out pretty nice. Most people can't see the side art on the head while the game's up against the wall anyway. And then on this side we've got something similar going on. So there we go. We were able to get a nice back glass for it. This one's not perfect, but it's in good shape. It's just got a lot going on. Their back glasses were really busy there for a while. See that mirrored effect? See how you can see a reflection in the glass? That's actually printed as well on the back of the glass. It's almost like a separate layer of ink that has a mirror finish to it. And they don't really do that much anymore. Sometimes you see most of the newer machines have translights, but they are starting to make some with back glasses, but they don't put the mirror effect on them that often. But this one had it. So Meteor by Stern, and the copyright on it is 1978. Now you see down here it says American International Pictures Incorporated. There was actually a Meteor movie way back in the day. I've never seen it, but this was actually licensed. This was based on a movie. And down here it says Meteor, copyright Stern Electronics Incorporated. But you see over here it's also got the copyright from American International Pictures Incorporated. So who knows what's up with that. I'm gonna have to find that movie one of these days and watch it and see if it's any good. But basically you've got a big huge meteor hurling towards what I assume is Earth. And you've got, or it's like a meteor shower. You see some meteors are hitting it in the background, and then you see all these missiles that were launching up to hit it. This back glass is a little faded, but you can see that this is an American flag here. says SK5, and over here it says CCCP, which I believe, am I correct that that's I was going to guess that that was Chinese, but I'm not sure. So anyway, it looks like maybe the countries of the world are shooting rockets up to try to defend us from this meteor shower that's trying to hit the Earth. All of that is completely irrelevant to the game, but that's the deal behind the back glass. Here's the Playfield. It's an interesting little layout. It has Stern's little post here in the middle to save the ball. If the ball's coming down just right, you can let it bounce off that, and it'll bounce up to the flipper, hopefully. But the Playfield's very busy. It's got a lot of art on it. This one, again, it's not in perfect shape, but it came out pretty decent. You've got these 3 rockets right here. 1, 2, 3, and then these 3 bonus ladders in the middle. Or, well, they're actually off to the side a little bit, but 1, 2, and 3. And that's because you have all of these drop targets. So you've got these 3 over here that say 1, and you've got these 3 up here that say 2, and then you've got these 3 over here that say 3. So basically, as you drop one of those targets, see it says advance and score rocket value. So basically, as you drop a number 1 target, it raises this from 0 to 1,000, and then 2,000, 3,000, whatever. So you can build this up. You can also build up the 2s. You can also build up the 3s. And then at the end of the ball, it counts all that down and awards you whatever those points are. So you get points for the rocket 1, points for rocket 2, points for rocket 3. And then over here you have a multiplier. So 1 times, 2 times, or 4 times. This can actually go even higher though, because you can get the 4 lit up and the 1 lit up, so probably the 2 as well, but I haven't seen that. But so the 4 and the 1, if they were both lit up, then you get 5 times the value. That's why it says plus between it. So let's say that you had this counted up to 5,000. Whenever the ball drains, it'll go, and it'll count that 3 times or 4 times if you've got the 4 times lit up, and it'll just do it once if you've only got the 1 time lit up. So it's a game that you can really score really high on, and it's a game with tons of drop targets. So you got those 3, and then up here at the top, you got a really cool spinner shot over here. That's just a nice shot to hit. And then up here at the top, you've got these other drop targets. So you've got 9 drop targets on the sides of the playfield, and then up at the top, you've got 6 more that spell out Meteor. So this game has a total of 15 drop targets in it, which is pretty impressive, really. And then up here, you've got these 3 little rollovers that say spot Meteor target or 500, and you've also got this extra flipper up here. And you've got this little stand-up target here. So it's a cool game. It's got a lot going on and a lot of art on it, which is basically all just kind of a spacey theme. You've got this is kind of a nice little effect here. They've got, this is the shooter lane, and so you've got the tail of a comet here, or a meteor, I guess, that curves around and then becomes the pop bumper. So that's a neat little. The way they put that in was pretty cool, and it's also got that little explosion there is kind of neat looking. But it's just this, it's just design aspects of it. So let's read over the instructions, and we will see what it says. Oh, and by the way, those drop targets at the top, the ones that say Meteor, are all memory targets. So on Stern, was it really cool with those? Basically, it can remember which ones were down and drop each target by itself, which is really cool. So anyway, let's see what this says. Meteor. Insert coins for credits. Anytime the game is on, press credit button to start game. Press credit button for additional players anytime before ball in play number 2. All right. Each Meteor drop target increases the spinner value. All right. So that's the ones at the top. Whoop. Completing all of the Meteor drop targets, if you do it the first time, it increases the bonus multiplier X. So this is this over here. So it'll go from 1x to 2x, or from 2x to 4x. All right. The second time that you complete all Meteor drop targets, it flashes the dead bumpers and outlanes for remainder of ball in play. So the outlane is collect all rockets. Collect all rockets. So basically, you would collect all of these values. I guess it must not do it at the end of each ball like I was thinking. And then so the second time you get it, it lights those, and then it also lights these. Advances one when lit. This is called a dead bumper. It doesn't pop like this one. This one has a metal ring that pulls down. Oop, I guess I should show you what I'm talking about. This one has a metal ring that pulls down and pops the ball, pop bumper. These ones are called dead bumpers because you just hit it and fall off of it. It doesn't have any kind of way to pop the ball away from it. And then there's one over there too. That one lights up as well. It just doesn't in a track mode. But so the second time you drop all the drop targets, it lights these up. Advances one when lit. Every time you hit it, it raises the number 1 rocket bonus, and that one does the same with the number 3 bonus. Unfortunately, the number 2 bonus doesn't appear to have a way to raise it except if you hit the number 2 drop targets. But maybe there is. We'll read on. All right. Bonus multiplier and Meteor drop targets are held in memory, and they restore for each player's next ball in play, except the multiplier resets for next ball when on 6 times or 7 times. All right, so if you get the multiplier all the way up to 6 times, so if you've got the 4 lit and the 2 lit, or the 4, the 2 lit, and the 1 lit, where you've got 6 or 7 times of the countdown, they don't let you hold that over to the next ball. They take it away from you at the end of the ball, is what they're saying. So we'll read that one again. Bonus multiplier and Meteor drop targets are held in memory and restore for each player's next ball in play, except multiplier resets for next ball when it's on the 6 or the 7. They're not going to give you that big of an advantage. Wows flash on Meteor target when bonus multiplier is at 6 times only. So there's the wow lights underneath it. That second row of lights. Wow. Wows flash on Meteor targets when bonus multiplier is at 6 times only. Not 7 times, only 6 times. Dead bumpers when lit and indicated drop targets advance and score the corresponding rockets. So basically, if the dead bumpers at the top are lit, it'll advance your 1 or 3 that it corresponds to on it, and then all of the drop targets that say 1, 2, and 3 advance their corresponding rocket. Aligning all rockets on the same value flashes the wows as indicated. Aligning all rockets at 7,000 flashes specials as indicated. So what they're saying is, if you get all of these lined up to where they're all lit at 4,000 or something, where they all line up, it flashes the wows, which is wow, wow, wow. Boom, boom, boom. Outhole scores all rockets times the bonus multiplier value. Tilt penalty, ball in play only. Maximum 1 wow per ball in play. And over here, if you make wow, it lights shoot again. So you get a free ball, is what the wow all stands for. I'm not sure if I have it set up that way. There's some little dip switches to change that in the back, but I believe that's how I've got it set up. So basically, if you get these up to 4,000 and they're all lined up, if you hit it while it's lit, it lights up free ball. We'll have to try that out, folks. That sounds almost too good to be true. But there you go. That is Stern's awesome Meteor. I will grab the tripod and we'll play it a little bit and see just how high of a score I can get. All right, folks, here we go. We're going to play through it a little bit and let you hear some of those awesome late 70s sounds. I checked the copyright. It says 78 on the back glass, but that's when the movie came out. 1979 was when Meteor came out. But we'll play through it here a little bit, see what we can get going. It has constant background sound like that. That was something that Stern and Williams were kind of messing with for a while there. Whoa! Spot Meteor target. Oh, it robbed me. One thing too, that top flipper, bloop, that thing on the original cabinets like this one, sometimes it'll have a resistor on it because that can't be real strong. If that flipper is really strong, you will destroy your drop targets up here because it's only 6 inches from them. So I mean, it'll just break them into a million pieces. So you can either, if it doesn't have the resistor anymore, what you can do is you can adjust the end of stroke gap out farther so that it's pretty weak. You don't need it to be strong at all. It can be super weak and still hit those targets no problem. Whoop, missed everything. Air ball. Well, if I could hit anything. Sometimes on some of these you can hit down an entire bank of targets with one shot. Oh, I always forget about that top flipper. Ah, forgot it again. Oh. Memory targets. A little glass bump for you. Make sure you're still awake. One target I may have to adjust a little bit. You have to hit it pretty much dead on to get it to score. All right, that's 244,440 points. The reason you're seeing some of the targets, the memory targets, drop on their own is because since they're the memory targets, basically they have a little coil on each target and it can pull it in and make the target drop. And so basically because of that, it opens up a bunch of new gameplay ideas. Like they can make it where you can drop the targets without actually hitting them. So there's other ways to drop the targets, like the rollover lights above the targets up here. If you roll over those while they're lit, it'll drop a target. And in each in lane, it can light up and say spot meteor target, etc., etc. Let's play another one. Boop. Oh, that's horrible. Oop. Oh, also horrible. Ah, horrible. I I had them lined up too on the 2, so if I would have, so all of my wow lights were lit, or that one was. If I would have hit it, I would have got a free ball. The reason that it stops for a second whenever the game's over is because it's showing you on the scores on the left side what the high score is, and basically comparing it to your score. It also does that after the second ball. I've got it set on 3 balls, so after the second ball you'll see it'll stop for a second and it'll just sit there. The reason it's doing that is because it's showing you what the high score is, so you can try to beat it on your last ball. It's a very well designed game, I think. Yeah. I need to watch this switch. I'm not sure if it's working right. We just finished this thing, so it may still needs a little tweaking. Oh! So it's the end of the second ball, so it's going to pause. So it's showing me the high score right now. Ah, right down the middle. All right, let's try it again. I guess it's working. Oh, well, I got saved by that center post that time. For real, for real. But not that time. So my score was a whopping 7,070 on the first ball. Ah, I was robbed. You can kind of make, if you make the shot soft like that, where you just barely go over the drop targets, it'll hit those 3 rollovers at the top that spot you the targets. I'm trying to hit the spinner, just because everybody loves a good spinner. I think I hit all 3 at one shot, which I think does something for you. When the way it, I think it was because I knocked down all 3 of the bank 2 with one shot. I believe it rewards you for that. All right, we're gonna try one more game. Ah. No! My spinner shot was stuffed. There we go. You'll notice I keep hitting this stand-up target and it doesn't register. That's probably because on these, if you've got a stand-up target like that that you hit real fast on a bally or a stern, they're supposed to have a little capacitor on them. Because what happens is you hit it so quick that it doesn't give it time to register. Like the old school MPU can't actually see that you hit it so quick. So there's a little capacitor that's supposed to be between the two blades of the switch underneath the playfield, which makes the pulse a little bit longer, and so the board can see it. I'll bet that, but the problem with those little capacitors is they short together after a while to where it makes it where the switch is always on. So operators would just cut them off. So I'll bet what's going on is that switch doesn't have its capacitor on it. So I'll check that out later and replace it if need be. There we go. Got it that time. And the glass bump to boot. I got it that time too. I hit the ball with the upper flipper 4 times in a row and didn't get any of them. Well, all right, there we go, folks. Can't be here all night. So it pauses for a minute, showing you your score. And then now it's back into track mode. It's a really cool game. It's one of those games you can just play over and over again. I really like these vintage Bally's and Sterns. The ones from the late 70s, the first solid state ones. Some of them aren't really that great, but most of these games you can find something about them that you really like that's really enjoyable. This one's got 15 drop targets on it. I mean, that's awesome. And I'm sure you can tell by the way I keep talking about it. I really like the memory targets. I just think that's cool how they can drop on their own, and you can do other things to make it drop where it kind of helps you a little bit and you're trying to get all of them. I'm just a sucker for that kind of stuff. So just a really fun game, and it's up to 4-player game, which most of the digital ones were, or maybe all of them. You know, you can get a bunch of people playing and, you know, fight to get the highest score, and it's just fun times to be had for everyone. Another thing about these classic Sterns and the classic Bally's is since there's so many of them, they were so popular, you can get parts for them. They make just about everything for this game. They've even I believe they're talking about making the back glass, like making a reproduction of that. So if they pull that off, that'll be awesome. But there you go. That is Stern's Meteor 1979. Really fun game in my opinion, and a lot of people agreed because it was their best-selling game ever. Now if you're looking to buy a Meteor, this one may have already flown on over to somebody else's house by the time you see this video. Usually these pinballs don't last very long here in our shop. But you can see what all the things that we do have available for sale right now on our website. Just go to lionsarcade.com and you can check out what we've got right now, no matter when you see this video, even if it's 20 years down the road. Also, you can stop by and see us. We're in beautiful downtown Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is about 15 minutes south of Charlotte, North Carolina. Just over the border. And if you're not looking for an arcade game or a pinball machine, and you're not in the area where you can stop by, just subscribe to us here on YouTube. We're going to be filming videos every time we get something cool like this finished up. We'll shoot a little video and share it with you folks, just so you can feel like you're playing it again. So we will see you next video.